Matthew, I want to hear your plan.
I guess my plan is to keep working at Suncoast Video until I figure out what I want to do with my life.
Set in 1988, Take Me Home Tonight follows three friends with uncertain futures, celebrating their last night of unbridled youth. After an aimless summer, recent MIT graduate Matt finds himself with a chance to finally catch his high school crush.
You're gonna trick her into liking you.
Meanwhile, his twin sister Wendy gets engaged, and his best friend Barry gets fired from his job. With everything they know about to change, the three finally take some chances.
Why can't you give yourself one night of enjoyment?
Take Me Home Tonight explores the importance of chasing dreams and the challenges of committing to adulthood.
Put your hands in the air!
The movie we're going to be talking about today is Take Me Home Tonight.
Which really at no point reveals why it's called Take Me Home Tonight.
Because nobody gets taken home. Ever.
It's about three 20-somethings who spend a crazy, wacky evening together, partying in the summer, as they try and figure out what to do with their lives.
This film really jumps through every 80s cliche that it possibly can. It was like watching your childhood chopped up by a serial killer.
It's kind of funny. You know, Aristotle once said that the highest form of drama takes place from one day to the next, right? Yeah, what'd you think if he knew that the only things that still did that were teenage fuck comedies?
For the life of me, I could not figure out why this movie is in the 80s.
Besides all of the visual elements.
But even that, I mean, it doesn't really sell the costumes. It doesn't do a really good job of working the soundtrack into the thing. So there's no cell phones and there's cocaine. This whole coming out of college angst thing doesn't really sit with me as the 80s. 80s is go, 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 risky business. Tom Cruise, his response to his crisis.
It's Reaganomics. Yeah, it's the Reagan era.
I am going to found a brothel out of my own home, whereas Topher Grace is, it's 80s and I'm going to cry and no! Coke off of whores' asses.
I feel like the reason why you guys hated this movie so much is because you guys lived through the 80s here. I didn't live in the United States around that time. And for me, I just feel like, oh, I guess this is the embodiment of 80s.
And that is highly problematic. As someone who did not grow up in the United States in the 80s, you seeing this film, if you think that this is really kind of in any way, shape, or form representative of that period, that's a problem.
Hit it!
Maybe that explains what happened in this film, is maybe none of these people actually grew up in this time period in this location. Clearly something went wrong from concept to execution. So let's talk about the writing.
I don't know. I think the concept pretty sucked too. I mean, it's an idea from Topher Grace.
We can talk about the gradient of suckage, and let's just go to the writing.
All right, let's just go. There are gradations of suckage.
It's a continuum of suck.
It's a continuum of suck.
They're just full of just really conventional plot devices. And you've always have to have that giant cheesy speech right before the climax.
I have been so afraid of my life that I have missed my life. But tonight, all of that changes. Tonight, I'm not afraid.
No, it's just cheesy.
But
and
you don't
really
even
boring.
realize that that's what the movie is about.
Right.
We've got these two screenwriters.
Jeff and Jackie Filgo.
Who were writers on The New Adventures of Old Christine and that 70s show.
Oh, so this is that 80s show.
Yes.
They bring all of their sitcom writing to feature film, which is generally typically okay. The problem with it is that they have structured it so that you've got these multiple plot lines that don't intersect. You can get away with that in sitcom, half hour, not in feature film, where everything needs to be in service of the plot, which doesn't exist.
I feel like we should talk about cast at this point. So what do we think about the chemistry of the leads? I love that it started with the sigh.
I think Topher Grace has to be the worst fucking casting choice of all time. He's 35 fucking years old. He's playing a 21-year-old, first off. And then why on earth do you cast a guy who's famous for playing a fucking loser dork in the 70s in a movie in the 80s? Like,
oh, I love this song. I love this song.
Do you want to dance?
No, it's the same fucking character. Yeah. It's basically like casting Fonzie as Robert McNamara. I don't understand.
but he doesn't do a bad job of being the lumpen everyman, just kind of rambling his way through it. But he's perfectly serviceable.
I wouldn't service that guy. I just want to say it was nice to see Michael Biehn.
The point is, though, if you're considered to be the best actor in Take Me Home Tonight, that's kind of like being the president of your summer school class. Yeah. Between the AV club guy and the kid with BO, it's pretty much no competition.
I will give Dimitri Martin a lot of kudos. He was very funny. He had the funniest lines and the funniest performance, in my opinion.
What's up?
I've been really lazy. Nah, I'm just kidding. I got hit by a drunk driver right after graduation, but don't cry for me, Argentina. It's not so bad. I get better parking. I mean, I have stronger opinions about hills now, but whatever.
What was the deal with the best friend? With was that fucking Sam Kinison knockoff?
Dan Fogler.
Dan Fogler.
Let's do this.
It was like I couldn't tell if he was doing Bobcat or because it the whole.
I don't think he knew.
I don't think he knew.
It's a sidekick gone waste.
I think we can all agree that the cast was pretty underutilized, but we should really talk about the real criminal of this film, which is the director, Michael Dowse.
He takes everything from the genre that's bad and uses it. He ignores the things that make the genre that he's working in good. You know, like all of those movies that take place over one night. They contextualize themselves. You know, like American Graffiti lets you know takes place in '62 before Kennedy dies. Days of Confused is during the bicentennial summer. But this one doesn't. They just wanted to use the soundtrack from Pan 80, so it doesn't let you know anything about that. And two, there's supposed to be this tension that takes you through that whole night. Like, this is the last night we got, like in Superbad, right? It's the last night they have to fuck these specific girls. If they don't do it, it's over. And there's nothing like that.
Well, I actually think there's nothing more productive that we can talk about with this film. So I think we really got to just take it to a vote. So if everyone could take their tickets. So the film is Take Me Home Tonight. Do we see it, stream it, or skip it? I better hear the ripping of paper. James.
It's a limp dick version of an 80s comedy. It's not mean enough. It meanders through the world. No.
Yes. Ripping tickets.
Skip
Love
it.
I'm not a big fan of limp dicks, so I'm going to have to go along with James and say, skip this bitch.
I won't see it in the theaters, but maybe at some point I might. If it comes on the TV, I might keep it. I might tune it in for about 30 minutes.
No, don't
I
hold it. No,
I actually found it a little bit funny. I am going to put it as stream it. And that's it.
I just.
All I want to hear is that ripping ticket.
I didn't believe it took place in the 80s. Yes. I actually kind of like this genre a lot, and they, they stepped all over it. Whatever human moments they were in, shit all over it.
Yes.
And I'm gonna skip it. There you go.
I felt like it didn't go on long enough.
So the world is back to its regular order.
Yes, because I believe that is a skip it for this movie. I never even want to say its name again. I would rather have an enema than ever discuss this film.
Chin chin to enema.
Here's to the universe back in alignment.